when I got into business, like most people, I think I did a lot of the type from home and the selling door to, so like I get it, like we get in because like we want the money, and you start going after that. Like that's what the initial draw a lot of times is like I need to make some money, and after you start making money really quickly, you realize how unfulfilling that is, and you're like, that was not that cool. And then you start seeing the success of the people that whatever you're selling to the people, and then like that becomes this next level of win where you're like, oh my gosh, like because I did something cool, like that person had this big win, and that becomes this drug that's like at least for me, like it's unquenchable. Like I keep wanting, I desire it. Like the more it happens, the more I want it, and the more, and so for me, like that's this thing. And so when things would struggle, I remember I use Voxer like my mode of communication with most of the world. And so it's just a little walkie-talkie app. And in Voxer, you can, if a message is really cool, you can put a little star next to it. So my kids said a cute thing, I'll put a star next to it. When my friends or clients or customers send testimonials, I put a little star next to it. So, and then you can go listen to all the stars you want. And so like when times were down, I'd go back and I would just go listen, and I click on the star section and listen, and I would just listen to like 30, 40 minutes of people tell me how I changed their life, what happened, how it worked. And it was just like, all right. And like listening to that got me back to the spot of like, okay, I got to do this. And then my favorite quote of all time is Churchill, however long and hard the road. And he's talking, to Parliament about this war they have to go on. And it's going to be brutal. And all these things are how hard it's going to be. And then in the very end says like, we're going to, victory at all costs, victory, however long and hard the road. And so whenever I like listen to that, I recenter myself, like this is where we got to go. And then it's like, all right, we're going victory, however long and hard the road, whatever's got to go, whatever we got to do, we're just going to go and we're going to go and we're going to go. And that phrase, like however long and hard the road, like rings through my head all the time. Every time I'm tired or I'm frustrated, I think about the people, I hear about success, and then we go after it. And that's kind of the draw for me, the pull.
One thing that's interesting about Churchill that I think is very apropos of the moment that we're in is he, not long after the war, they ousted him. And he was the right man at that time who rose up and was exactly what that country needed. And look, if people are willing to reach within themselves, like this is a time for people that are willing to step up and shine. This is a huge opportunity. How do you think about that? Like it would be very easy to see this time as, just a time to suffer and get through, like when you were cutting weight. Or do you think that, there is a way to reframe this as opportunity?
Oh, I think this is the greatest. I mean, I turned 40 this year. This is the greatest opportunity in the 4 decades I've been on this earth. Like, and think about it right now, people are scared. There's fear. And the people everyone's looking to be led. Like everyone's just freaked out. Even people who are leaders are like trying to find people to lead them right now. Like everyone's struggling. I think that the people that are willing to stand up and raise their hands and say, look, I'm going to lead, come follow me. Now is like the time. And I always tell people like I have a big belief that like the business isn't just like a way we make money or a way we waste our time. Like I believe the business is a calling from God. And I always tell people like, you've been called to serve a group of people. And like now you've been called. If you've ever felt that tug before, like my friend Sharpen calls it the call of contribution. Like you feel this tug, this pull, like you've been called, and there's a group of people that you have been called to serve, that you can change their life, but you've got to be willing to like do the things to like step up. And like and there's so many fear. I think that tons of people are called, but most people don't ever step up to it, and they shrink back down. But those who are willing to step up to that calling and say, all right, my job, I got to gather a group of people, and with my gifts and my talents, I'm going to serve these people to the best of my ability. Man, on the other side of this, there are going to be ones that have the companies, that have the brands, that have these things. Especially right now, like, man, we're giving like it's such a double-edged sword. Like there's all this fear, but there's also this blessing. Right now, you look at ad costs. Like I don't know what you guys are seeing, but our ad costs have dropped dramatically. Like we went from spending $4 or $5 for webinar registrants. Right now, we're paying 78 cents. We had 17,000 people registered for Webinar Hype tonight. 17,000. Like people are so cheap. They're looking. They're begging. They're trying to find things. I saw an article from Facebook saying that they're going to lose $40 billion over the next couple months because no one's buying ads. And so we're coming in and like, man, now's the time we can gather people at a cost that's unheard of. Like I always tell, like, I should go back when Google was easy back, 17 years ago when I got started. Like it just happened like 3 or 4 weeks ago. Like it opened up, the ad cost dropped, and it's like I can gather people at cost now I never could before. And so I think, on the other side of this, there's some people who missed this opportunity. Others who were like, look, I jumped on and I found a group. I've called to serve them. I'm serving them. I'm doing everything in my ability. And I'm gathering these people together. And when others, on the other side of this, man, people are going to remember who is the person that got me through the hard times. Who's the person that gave me the hope in a brighter future. And like those are the people they connect with, and they're going to keep following for for forever. And so I think now is such a unique, awesome time, and we can get attention from so many people at such a discount. It's a good time for everyone to start stepping up and start publishing and start putting your voice out there.
Yeah, no question, man. Totally. I aggressively agree with that.
Robert Kiyosaki, you can see I'm compliant. This is the mask. It's the best money can buy. I got it from Donald Trump. It's the best. It's always the best. I'm just trying to show you that I'm compliant, although I think this whole COVID-19 thing is bullshit. But anyway, I'm compliant. I'm social distancing. I'm doing all that. So now that you see this, I can begin.
I don't like to put my money, I'm just not a gambler. I just don't like to gamble. So I would prefer to study and learn and then invest. For example, is when I came back from Vietnam in 1973, I wanted to learn to invest in real estate. And I asked my rich dad if he would teach me. And he says, no. He says, that's not his job. So I took real estate courses. And I still take real estate courses. I make fortunes in real estate. But most people are gamblers. They think they can walk on water and they can just buy something and they're Donald Trump next week or something. But even Donald Trump started really, really small. He and I have been friends for about 8 years. We were 8 years working together. And he started off the same way I kind of did, working with his dad and learning how to construct and build and stuff like this. There's a lot of education goes into real estate. And then for him to build these huge high rises today and mega projects, you still start small. If you're stupid, you're not going to make any money anyway. I've talked to so many people who during that period of 2008 till today, they did nothing. And you could have made fortunes in that time and paid no taxes if you had real financial education. But unfortunately, as you know, most people go to school to get a job, work hard, save money, get out of debt, and invest for long-term, a well-diversified portfolio, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and ETFs. And that's why they're broke today. See, our schools are criminal operations. Many young people are going to school today on these student loans, which also came out in 2009, the same year that Bitcoin was invented. What happened in 2009 was Obama went to the banks and said, hey, give the kids all the money they want. The U.S. government will back up your loans. So if you as a young person take out a loan, let's say for $100,000 and you don't pay it off, well, you're trashed because you'll have a bad credit score for the rest of your life. But the bank's off the hook because the Fed will give them the money. And that's what's happening right now. And so that's why, I say it's criminal what the education system is doing by not teaching anybody anything about money. This is not that hard to do. So the most important thing is not the assets, not stocks, bonds, mutual funds, or ETFs, or real estate, or businesses, or Bitcoin. It's really you. It's you, the investor, that's going to make money. So that's why I recommend, study, choose your teachers wisely. Don't listen to stupid, poor teachers, please. A poor teacher will teach you to be poorer. And one of the biggest tests to know if a teacher is rich or poor is ask them if they have a financial statement. And can I see your financial statement? You see, everybody's asking Trump, which he'll never show, is for his financial statements or his tax returns. Well, Trump is never going to show you his financial statement or his tax returns because he doesn't pay taxes. And that'll drive the peasants wild. And Bernie Sanders will be elected, or Biden, or whoever they put up against him. See, the rich make a lot of money, they use debt, and they don't pay taxes. You can say that's not fair. It is fair because the laws are fair for everyone. But your education is what changes how you see the world. So if you believe in living debt-free, as Dave Ramsey says, knock yourself out. If you want to cut up your credit cards, like Susie Orman says, knock yourself out. I love my credit card, but I have financial education and I don't get in financial debt. I invest my time and money in my brain rather than listening to poor teachers.
I've made a conscious effort to make sure I'm more productive during the corona than before. I think while everyone's sitting down sleeping, that's the time to rev it up, you know? So while people can't move, they frozen, I'm thawed out. And we working. So the gallery is clicking. We got comedians in there right now in a safe way. And, you know, we editing. And I just feel like everybody should do that. You know what I'm saying? I've been saying this every day, so I don't want to sound redundant, but I do want to remind everybody. So first thing, when I wake up, you know, or actually, see my notes and shit. Looking at scripts. It's important to look at scripts. I'm planning my next moves. You know, I don't think things are going to be back to normal, and that's okay. So I'm planning and preparing for what the new normal is. You know, it's time to strategize and to plan and to fight. You know, this is a war. And you got to figure out what the fight is. The mentality of anyone around me, once you get around me, is to be a billionaire or nothing. And that's why you notice the people that they talk about in hip hop that are billionaires, their mentality is consistent. You know, if you think you can be a billionaire, you can be one. You know what I'm saying? But you just have to have a product to sell. The product got to be good. You got to know how to package it, distribute it, collect your bread, and do it all over again consistently. You know, some people could do it on their own, and some people need partners. Some people can, like, you know, generate $1 billion through a business, and some people could earn $1 billion just through really working. But you got to be doing something that people would pay you $1 billion for. I don't know too many jobs that pay that, you know? So for me, you know, being younger, I made $1 million legally fairly quickly. And I was like, this shit is kind of easy for me. I don't know about everybody else, but just based on where I was at the time, it was like, damn, I made $1 million this quick. I gotta get more. And honestly, I won't feel satisfied personally unless I'm able to achieve these dreams on my own, you know, and that's my dream, is to do it independently, just so that I can pass it to my daughter and my sons and my other daughters, you know, my other daughter, you know, they're doing what they want. You know, Ava wants to model right now, I'm all right with it, but if she ever wants to run the company, she could. I just feel like if you don't have a purpose, if you have nothing to fight for, I wouldn't even understand that existence. You know what I'm saying? I really wouldn't.
If you want more advice, wisdom, guidance from other successful entrepreneurs on how you can navigate the coronavirus situation, check out the video right there next to me. I hope you find it valuable. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.
It's a smokescreen for something that's been going on for years.